to jump into the agent select for our first map between Ghost and NRG. And it does feel like NRG are coming in as pretty heavy underdogs based on what we saw already in this matchup between the two of them, and also just with what Ghost brings to the table. We praised Ghost yesterday, and even though they fell flat against EG, this is still a difficult game for NRG.
Yeah, absolutely. I still think Ghost is going to make a deep, deep run.
I agree.
Still very much Copenhagen is something for them to set their eyes on. So already looking at what we're going to get, NRG don't seem to be going back to the Omen for some. They're playing a little bit more standard compositions overall. Big difference here, the difference between KO and a Sky.
Yeah.
KO a little bit more like higher highs, lower lows than a Sky. You know, you really need to land your knife to get the big value. And the Sky does give you a little bit more information with the flashes. But I do think a good KO player can absolutely take over this map of Breeze, so I like seeing Nismo's hands.
It looks like what we were going to get, right? What we expected here. We have to remember coming into Ghost, as much as we say that NRGs are underdogs, there's a reason. The raw firepower that can come from Ghost here in any composition they bring. Let's see if they can make it happen here on Breeze. NRG's going to be set up for defense first.
This is going to be a little bit difficult. We watched them play yesterday. We've seen what Ghost is capable of on this map. Do we think that NRG is going to be able to find it in the tank to take them on Breeze?
Look, I said it before the break, like, Ghost are the favorites. This is their favorite map on Breeze, but if they're going to drop one, Breeze can get flippy.
I want to see Sam up in caves, in people's faces, 2-star. I want him pulling more than one person on agency. He has to be a threat.
Well, we are just about ready to jump into the action. We'll go ahead and throw things over to the casters. It's the Dala combo. Doug, Bala, take it away.
What? Game time, baby, and I'm so freaking excited. Bala, this is a big match. We're talking about an early tournament run ending for one of these two teams right here.
Yeah, no chance for Copenhagen as these guys finish this series off. It is do or die. Hayes is talking about it. Ghost is talking about it. They know what's on the line, and it starts right here on Breeze. Doug, I have to agree with Ender when he talks about the map veto being slightly disappointing for Ghost. They're really not leaning into the strength. Everybody was really hyped about them all season long, and instead going back to their comfort of Breeze over and over. We saw it yesterday, and it didn't go well.
Dangerous game to be agreeing with Ender. Just be cautious about that. Ghost starting off on the attacking side. A little bit of info trying to be gathered across mid-map. You know, we've talked about how their record on Breeze is pretty outrageously high. But the fact that these two maps are the same two maps that Ghost played yesterday against EG almost has like a foreboding something to it. You've already been spotted, man. The info that's gathered off the utility is too good, as Ghosts have already gotten a couple of key openers on the pistol. Numbers heavily their way at 5v2 here as the remaining members of NRG, excuse me. So far away.
Off to a great start. It's going to be really hard to get past this wall right now. Both of them, neither of them flanking. So they have to rely on Ethan's bird, but the wall comes down, so they sneak past.
Yeah, but look at Nismo, man. He's like tucked in that little corner. Pop flashes out, swings out with it. Hayes left alone in 1v3, and he's not going to pull it off this time. Ghost win the first.
Yeah, you're right about Nismo there in that pocket, abusing the opposing. Yeah, exactly. Just flashing where you can't really clear. You can't see that coming. Making a pop flash angle out of nothing. And Ghost continue a good pistol round season for them so far. Them and EG have been top of the line for me in terms of pistol round conversions. Yep. Yeah. And it's been winning them games and series. So straight into the anti-eco, and they've made the right choice right away. Look, NRG has grouped up towards A. They're going to make an aggressive play. All Hayes did was put a Viper wall, and he's out of here. So if they scout this out with just one drone, they're on site, and they can set up deep. Already you can see a Proto slacking back, going all the way back to window. So they should spot this really early and be able to handle it.
If for some reason this gets out of hand, you called out a Proto and window. I think that's key here. He's got the 2 snake bites. You've got Nismo, who has the fragment. 2 shock darts in the hands of Brock, too. The post-plant utility they have is plentiful, to say the least. But if Proto... Okay, he hears it.
He did not expect multiple to be there. He could have shut that down with a snake bite, but instead, NRG's actually got the spread position on them.
And the post-plant utility kind of is no longer a factor. They've all huddled onto the site in particular. Hayes falls. Remember, the gun difference is pretty notable here. Sam was able to pick up her Proto's gun. He's the only one who has something other than a pistol. He's got to find value. And he finds one for his troubles, but there's just not enough time.
Yeah, that was actually a really interesting push. push from Ghost to go back after they spot 3 on the flank and re-aggro in through tunnels to try to isolate any low econ opponent. They find one, and then NRG actually responds with trying to fight that back by swinging through top of Nest and rotating back through elbow instead. Either way, Ghost handle that well, and they only lose 1 gun for their troubles. And so now, one thing I've been noticing about Ghost in the last couple of Breeze picks from them, especially in that game of 100 Thieves, they were heavily leaning into the way that 100 Thieves was playing retake. So if they spot a tendency like that, they're very likely to abuse it for multiple rounds in a row. But none of that so far. And we've already got an op in the hand of Koala Noob.
Middle of the map has generally been uncontested, at least early on Breeze here for NRG. That continues to be the case.
NRG did get a deep Trailblazer in through cave, courtesy of Ethan. But they didn't really do anything off of that. Instead, Tex just tucks himself in that corner on A site. And they allow Koala to be just walking up with this op.
How much more room can he find? Oh no. You've left things unguarded. Som falls. That operator almost finds a second as a bullet flies across his face. That's all it's going to be so far. 4v4 here. Things have equalized. John has fallen. Now Ghost try to funnel their way onto B. You've got Hayes back there who's trying to stay alive, trying to find some room to work with 27 HP, and he has to take the gunfight forward as NRG push Ghost back, and they're on the board.
What a hold. From the backside, Hayes, people getting past the half wall immediately. Just really, really fast on that retake. And they reacted well to losing Som right off the bat. I think Ghost really wanted to push the tempo there, not necessarily realizing the situation where other players were on the map. But they did abuse something there. Usually you're not getting that much value out of a Viper Orb. There they threw it so it covers tunnels from the B side. And that's how he was able to get past, originally, Hayes holding that angle and pick off Som, who thought he was completely safe.
Noob uses a Blade Storm at the beginning of the round. Feels like a little bit of rinse and repeat, right? They test the waters mid, they get the space they're looking for. This time there's a bit of an expectation. There's a contest as Som has fallen. Blade Storm already finding value. Ghost up 5v4, make that 5v3.
And look, again, they get a kill with that orb from right there. Ethan does clap back, but Hayes this time isolated completely by himself, and Koala Noob just wipes him out. So this rotate coming very, very slow. They might opt to even save right off the rip. Yeah, they're running back towards A.
Yeah, they don't want the heat. The spike's going to go down, and now we get to play this game where we wait for 40 seconds or what have you and wait until we start the next round. But, Bala, I think the interesting thing here is we saw the adaptation in this round relative to the previous few.
Sure.
NRG seems to understand that mid-presence is Ghost's playbook.
Yeah.
It's what they want to try to do, and even with the expectation there, Koala Noob with some big kills.
Yeah, but I also think that they were trying to fight specifically against that orb that's being tossed. You can still see it on the minimap right now, right next to that Viper wall on the B side. But you could see, actually, them realizing how hard it was to fight in there. You could see EU wasn't necessarily ready to swing onto Som. He doesn't understand the timing that comes through when he has to jump through that orb. So keep watching that and that interaction. See how NRG does adapt down the line. I think the right idea, though, yeah, let's try to fight in front of it. Let's explore this, see, and test Ghost when they go for this mid-control default.
And even with 2 people expecting at least one qualifying value, that's big.
Yeah, and he's 3-0 so far in first kills. Again, every single one for Ghost that they've gotten so far. And it's already going right straight at Som, the opposing Jet on this team.
And also, look at how NRG have fought for mid-map, right? Yep. They sent 3 across the right at the beginning, and sure enough, this is when Ghost decided they didn't want to have anything to do with it. Nismo gets the null command online, uses it instantly.
Doesn't reach, so there's a molly out, still delaying for quite a while. And with the mid-exploration, they have an opportunity to do some damage there. Almost get the shock molly as well, but no kills exchanged.
Ghosts have pushed their way into a pretty precarious spot, but of course, Koala Noob gets the opener again. I believe that's 4 now. as you were mentioning, traded back a 4v4 here as the spike ticks away. You see Ghost have assumed their post-plant positions. Nismo causing problems from this side of Pyramid. The hot flash as he pushes forward. He's left here alone. A second one as Ethan cleans him up.
They're just waiting for the mollies.
Yeah, now it gets hard. Right now, Proto still has a snake bite. Rock still has 2 shock darts.
Oh, it missed.
Oh, but the snake bite's short. How much more do they have? Oh no, it's short, and the second one's late. Ethan gets a defuse, NRG get to 2. They had the plan, it just was not executed well.
And they're wondering right now, they're scratching their head because I don't even necessarily think that they confirmed whether that molly missed.
I don't think they did, yeah.
They have to understand at this point. A Proto. Adjust in future rounds. Oh, it bounced off of him? No way.
Right off his face, bro. It's like bang on Icebox yesterday.
Yeah, that dude was catching slows. That is absurd to lose a round like that. So it's not even a Proto's fault in that case, but they do need to be swinging and checking for that instance.
Yeah.
Now, look, they're going for this mid-aggro in the same round that Ghost is going for their own.
This is the fight that we've been looking for a little while, and there's the first one. Koala Noob has historically been the tip of the spear in this situation. He's already fallen. And John may be getting a little aggressive here, a little greedy, perhaps, as he tries to peek forward. Oh, he's able to get the kill. The swing's not going to land. As they go 1 for 1.
Here.
Great trade, but they've completely killed the anchor on this site right now, so Sam has no way in. And with the mid-aggression, he's already traded off his dash, so he has no leeway to make an aggressive play. But still, 2 kills on the board for them. We've already spotted one as well. This is going to come down to potentially a Brock flank through elbow.
Note the game plan here for Ghost is very similar to what we saw in A. Nismo's planted on the site. He's the final boss in this, and you have to get through him before you even want a chance. And of course, Nismo pop flashes forward. He's only able to get one. The Headhunter drops him. And there's Brock with the flank. Info gathered, but there was obviously a big breeze going through. Made the bullets go a bit wide. A Proto with 2 on the round. 1v1. Ethan's healthy. Certainly healthier than Proto. He's going to at least stick it to half. The Molly's going to drop out. No, not again. Not again. No, my gosh, not again. Not again.
These stupid mollies, man. Oh, no. That is heartbreaking there. And that there is a misplay. The other one, I give him some credit there. It bounced off his face. This time, though, you know that molly's not going to melt down a potentially full HP enemy. 126 health here. You know this is not going to take him down with this patch. He tries to go for the jump throw, and it's a beautiful arc. But Ethan makes the outplay there in a 1v1. I thought for a second there, I was like, oh, not again, because a Proto was clutching. He hit that 1v4 yesterday against EG. But he just fails at the last hurdle.
A little more recent.
That was
Nismo's already fallen.
That was so long range.
Mm-hmm. I just look at the X and look at the minimap. I was downtown.
Responding with some first kills of his own. Koala is exploring this angle right here. Try to find himself a kill onto EU, who's been playing up in Nest.
Ethan now trying to enter the site. He's got the Marshal, and it's just not a fair fight against the Tour de Force, man. It's just not. Spike still hasn't made its way out. Tex, second time's the charm, or so they say. It's a 2v2 here, and you see them. They're holding respective angles, and Brock swings on the side. Yeah, no idea. Lands those. And he gets it defused. Now Hayes in a 1v2. He's got the he's got the Viper Spit, excuse me, and he's gotten it to a 1v1. Another clutch situation. Remember, the Tour de Force. He's got to land the shots, teleports out. Now he's able to still hold this angle from caves.
You're right. Viper's Pit, that's going to be huge. And it's not really planted. John has to swing so wide on this one. And with only a Tour de Force, no Vandal to spray into this.
He's got to push it. Hayes goes aggressive. He still has plenty of time. He tests the waters, now drops back. And there may not be enough time to fake it here. My goodness, he's got to commit to it. Gets it to half. Waiting, baiting, fading, anticipating, and he swings out, gets the kill. And is he going to get the defuse? It's so close. Yes, he is.
Plenty of time.
The Red Bull clutch.
Woo! Round after round after round. We get clutch moments like that. And that was well played from Hayes there, really trying to figure out exactly. You don't know what John has on the other side. You don't know what arsenal he has in his kit. So trying to stick in any certain situation could have ended the round immediately. And Ghost will call a timeout. A string, in my opinion, of unfortunate events for them. And also moving into misplayed territory on some of those clutches. However, still a close game. The only danger I see right now is them starting to lose that first kill advantage that they had in those first 4 rounds. Now it's NRG really pushing the tempo, and they've got to find a solution for it. They haven't really been able to go back towards that mid-control strat that they were relying on so much in the beginning, simply because NRG pushes in front of it at the beginning of the round.
And if memory serves me correctly, Ghost have only been aware of that once.
Yep.
Right? Like, there's only been one round in which they were pushing into it and felt that aggression come out. So I'm curious to see if Ghost tried to go back to that, how NRG responds, etc.
Sure. And also to note, Nismo 4-6 right now. Yesterday he had a slow start as well. Ended up in a slow series for him. I on him because the last time they played, he had 246 ADR against this team. And 246 is a number that you should just, flip out.
That's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad.
Over an entire
okay.
series. And it's crazy because his averages over the season have not been that bad either. I mean, he had 173 top in all of groups as we go into this technical pause. You hope that you get a performance from Nismo because it becomes electric.
Yeah, and, Balla, to go back to the series that Ghost played against EG yesterday.
Yeah.
That like electricness, the Nismo making plays, Koala Noob, like they have so many star players on this Ghost roster that can pop off at any moment, and it felt like it was just the stars lined up in an unfortunate way. Nobody was hitting their shots.
Yeah. EG was hitting their shots too, so you always have to think about that when you look at stats in terms of specific series. Fast push here from Koala. He tried to abuse that trademark last time, but this time there's 2.
EU's down to 37 HP. He's been spammed all over the place. Tyson drops some util, but they're pretty good too. Now you see that first molly come through, and there it is. Hunter Siri now. Factors Brock. A little bit of assist damage there. They have full hall control. The spike hasn't gone out yet. They have control.
And Hayes' flashback side, but they don't check. They don't swing fast enough. Either way, the trade is good from a Proto.
And 3v1, they choose to drop. Yeah, they choose to drop the Viper's Pit. And it's all on Tex here. Spots one player. Now they know exactly where he is. He's able to swing out, get the first. Don't give him the 1v1s, man. Don't give him the 1v1s. Tex has already gotten it down to 1, 0 armor, 85 HP. Drops down.
And a Proto already lost 2 of these situations.
Tex deciding to push into the Viper's Pit. Doesn't have much of a choice here. 22 HP, but if the timing lands right, my goodness, when Proto finds the 1v1, and they get Ghost the round. Ballo, it feels like every single round has been like this.
Yeah, it has. It really has. And that one, in my opinion, Ghost had the beautiful trades coming out of halls, the pressure onto Hayes. They were in advance. I mean, come on, Tex. This is stuff you expect from him, sure. His aim is unbelievable, but long range as well. And then, unfortunately, such a tough situation. Sure, the other situation with the Viper's Pit ended up winning the round from Hazed. But when you have to try to find that player.
Look at this stack out from NRG. Up close and personal. They have one hero rifle in the hands of Ethan, and it's already fallen. So many targets to look at. And Tex is the one who's finding him. My goodness, Tex seems to be on one today. 3 on the round. And Ghost are left in tatters.
The Chamber players are certainly feeling it. John QT as well.
Take flight.
In tatters, but still a lot of weapon advantage as a Proto gets 1.
Yeah. Now it's a 2v2. A Proto swings out. Oh, gosh. It's fine. Hazed gets it to 1 again. We've seen this before, but this time he has no armor and he has a classic.
John is running away at this point. And with the low HP situation, this actually gives Hayes plenty of time to feel this out and move to get a gun, most importantly.
Yep.
In this case, he'll be the advantaged player. But this time, no Viper's Pit to play against John. So what he has to figure out is how to actually approach this. Do we go on the flank? Do we try to catch him from B main? And John has to be able to get himself into a spot where he can spot all 3 angles easily.
It's so difficult to do. You see he set up his rendezvous. Note that John only has 26 HP. No armor, no nothing. You look at him funny here and he dies. How does Hayes choose to play this? Time not on his side. Drops some utility. Now John swinging around. He may get the timing just right. The tap, and Hayes a couple shots into the back of the head. He had the advantage, but John QT comes out with a little message sent at the end.
Well played. I mean, you're seeing players switch up in the 1v1s after, obviously, fumbles on either side. You can tell. Players are here to play. Tex, insane. John QT with his flank through in the last round. In Halls. Really well played from him as well. And then this clutch too. Look at him, 12 and 4. And you talked about yesterday against EG how it felt like they weren't hitting things. For John to now step up on Breeze. Wow, Nismo's slightly quiet so far on this attacking side. It's a great sign.
Again, Ghosts look to push the tempo and take Hall's control, and they do. Koala Noob trying to find something. EU somehow stays alive. The bullets run dry. The blades there. He's able to get one.
Spike planted.
Gosh, doesn't check it though on the other side of that. And they respond with their own flash peek at as well. So Ghost and advantage, and Koala's now flanking mid too.
And he almost has to, right? With John being dead, there's no alarm bot to keep things safe. Tex blinded up to high heaven, and the Tour de Force isn't going to see it. It's not going to land the shots. Here comes the reassessed flank from Double Doors. NRG, they've gotten as competitive, but there's the flank that you mentioned. And even with the Seekers there, Brock gets to the last as Ghosts get to 6.
And they are, I mean, with the way that they're playing, 6-4 the score still. They're relying on this Halls push at this point. Where earlier in the game they were relying on their B and mid push.
Yeah.
And it's working for them. I mean, they're converting situations that look a little weird. You know, the Halls fight from Koala Noob at the beginning of the round, in both the last 2 rounds. EU doing a great job actually challenging back on that. In fact, he still got a kill this time. But one of the problems is he gets the kill but has no way to actually keep that advantage, has no way to stop from being traded himself.
We'll see here if NRG are able to adapt. You saw the timeout being called, and it was, you see it on the timeline. It was really around round 5 where NRG made an adjustment to the pressure that Ghosts were applying. They were able to adapt, rattle off 3 rounds of their own, and now Ghosts pressing in a different area that hurts just as bad.
Yep.
As they've gotten momentum back. And again, the question is now, how do NRG respond?
Yeah. And like I said at the beginning, if they spot a tendency that they can abuse, they're going to go for it. Ghost right now is going for the jugular in that Halls push. And sure, you can't throw that every single round because eventually NRG will respond in kind. And that's the round that they're doing. Another strat here going for this top mid pressure again. But look at NRG. They're poised to send 3 down Halls. That leaves Hayes on an island. And Ethan as well. But the Halls push could net a really fast flank no matter what.
Have to be cautious for it, and you can tell they're almost expecting it. A Protoss still back in spawn. Understanding there's no presence A. Sure enough, that's our NRG are trampling down.
Don't forget they also have this KO ult too. Oh. Long range fight, Ethan wins it out. And they won't choose to actually push the pace on this flank now that they've lost coverage on it. Instead, they're going towards Hayes. They're going to ult him down, sure, but there's presence here from the rest of the team.
Yeah, and the utility, okay, they start to funnel their way out. Nismo's already gotten the first kill. They want to push the matter forward. You see Koala Noob, he's going to have 2 targets in front of him, not able to take care of either. Brock gets the spike down. You see the Hunter Shooter come through on top of the shock dart. Brock nowhere to go. How is he alive? How the heck is he alive?
Another push. Ambitious.
Not satisfied. Bullets go a little whiffy. So they're just not landing. Coast down to 2, and Brock is weak. Nismo falls. Brock's the last one there. Sam gets 4 on the round as NRG are going to get the defuse and get to 5.
Yeah, super important as we come down to the final hour in this first half. Ghost have a unbelievable defense. Throughout groups, Yesterday they faltered a little bit against EG, sure.
A lot of it.
Yeah, but overall, I mean, you can't take away from them.
Yeah.
The amount of setups, the amount of pressure they could put at any time. What a round from Psalm, though, too. Love to see him back on the jet on this map. Certainly more exciting to watch than the Omen. And I think it's important that they are going away finally from all of the off-meta ideas that they had, because they did not work in groups. And while they haven't been practicing this specific comp throughout the entire season, it's something that they're comfortable with. It's something that they played last season. And even though there's plenty of changes to be talked about, Psalm showing up a little bit towards the end of this half.
Note again here as we enter the last round of the half, Ghost, with the exception of one blemish yesterday, have an otherwise spotless record on this map. And NRG, I mean, they're going toe-to-toe with them. They've made the adaptations that are necessary.
They are staying so far back here, Doug, against any potential knife that Nismo will have. But he's so far up with the drone. No, he's just using it to clear the corner. That does give them information.
Blocks them straight out of the sky, but the trade comes through. Now the Viper's Pit drops from a Proto, and they should have a little bit of room to work with. Get the spike down. It looked like it may have fallen just a bit short, but no, he's able to get the spike down. You've got the flank coming through. The alarm bot is still in play here. Oh, but it doesn't spot that.
This kid is insane.
And he's pushing his way forward. A Proto may have taken a little bit of damage. Look, they're huddled in under the end of the pit. But there's nowhere for them to go. They're just going to have to hold fast. They're going to have to put their feet in the ground and keep them back. 3 remaining on the side of NRG, and they're so healthy. But Brock was the hidden plant. A Proto's here in the 1v2. He's been in so many of these, and he's not going to get it. Oh my gosh, I think he's been in 4 1v1s, and he only won one of them. Ethan's going to get the defuse. We're tied up at 6.5, friends. We'll be right back. The pace has been plentiful. The clutches have been abundant in more ways than one. And now we turn our attention to the second half of Breeze. I'm Doug. With me is Balla. Balla, you were mentioning previously that Ghost on defense, they're pretty freaking good, man.
Yeah, they absolutely are. They're turning their attention now to what is their stronger half. And while the first half, in my opinion, was successful in the ways that they were aggressing the sites, they failed in the post plants. But for them on defense, they have insane post-plant denial rates and retake percentages as well. So that's the comparison. And already down mid again, John QT just completely deletes Psalm, who is struggling today against the 2 stars of Ghost. Tex has been the guy who's been carrying the load in these first engagements.
Yeah, Tex ain't struggling, man.
Not at all.
He's still up. You see a little bit of Hall's A presence, and they've managed to get onto A for free. They're going to be able to get cozy in their spots. They're going to take all the space that they want. Hayes is the first linchpin that they're going to have to take care of, though. And you see Ethan pushing his way forward as well. He's got nothing but a Ghost. No armor, but what he does have is timing.
I mean, full control of this site. 3 people are going to look at them as they cross the double doors.
Player standing.
Just no chance.
Going their way.
And it's surprising to me the slowness of the reaction on that, right? Sean finally comes on the flank. We had the Viper, a Proto, not rotating off of B for what felt like years as they continued to explore mid. I think there was a moment there where after Koala Noob goes down, I believe it was him who ended up dying to Tex in mid. He's supposed to go back and spot A, see if they're actually aggressing past that Viper wall. And without that piece, I think the reaction was not as clinical as Ghost might have wanted.
Wallenoob with the only gun here, a Marshall. Pistols the rest of the way for Ghost as NRG are able to lean into the advantages that they had. You have 2 Bulldogs coming through in the hands of Ethan and Hazed. Should have a pretty cozy advantage. Wallenoob, note, again, the only Marshall, going hunting, trying to find something. Nope. 2 already drop on the side of Ghost, a 5v3 in favor of NRG.
And at this point, still walking into a stack. Ghost is hoping that they continue to... Actually, no, they're going to walk through. Instead, I think they think that NRG was going to rotate off, thought that they understood what was going on. And I think they did, but there's a moment there that NRG could have continued after they say, oh, we got 2 kills on A already, you know? Obviously, the Viper wall was still up. It was still placed towards A. You can't have a Viper 1 all the way back to the other side after placing a wall there on Breeze. Still well handled.
Yeah, it's just more fun if you're Ghost to just push it in a situation like that, right? Like, forget about being tactful.
Yeah,
let's just have a little
Let's
fun.
forget about Copenhagen then, Doug. You know what I mean? No, I mean, I think that was just good reads on both sides, good attempts to come out with something on that eco. So back to default stuff right here. Koala Noob up towards double doors of Proto with his wall. And Brock holding halls.
Down.
Interesting to see how NRG choose to play this, because they had Cave's control at the very beginning. They've given that space back, and that makes this wall from a Proto so much more devastating. You have to clear this wall 3 times before you get onto A. So if they choose to go back that way through Caves, I'm curious to see if they're going to invest a lot of utility to get through this.
Well, you know, we could use 3 bodies, you know, clear the angle 3 times. Or you could just use a measly little drone. Oh, but that's
huge. Proto's already fallen. Yeah, that's massive.
This guy's lights out Tex. Tex today, he's unbelievable. He's hitting headshots left and right, 1 taps. And again, Ghost has let them on the site in a man disadvantage, and NRG has Hall's control. This time double doors are missing from them, but still, I mean, this has been so successful when they're pushed up so far this half.
You mentioned Ghosts are good at retakes. They're going to get a chance at it again. Som wins that out with the Spectre, swings out, tries to find another, and sure enough, he does. It's just John and Koala left with Vandals, and you wonder at this point, do they even really want the heat?
No, they don't. This round, to me, uncharacteristic from a Proto. This guy, along with Brock, actually, have the least first deaths out of any team, any player in the league. And him going down first, obviously that impacts a lot on defense right here. We were talking about the Viper wall being something that's difficult for NRG to get through. But he doesn't even get to use that at that point, and that allows them to abuse so much more space on A. Just a note, he only died 8 times first in all 5 weeks of group stages.
That's actually insane. To think about how many rounds are played out throughout a month and a half that we've been going at it. And I mean, yes, a Proto uncharacteristic, but you mentioned it. Tex is just
he's farming.
Magnetic, dude. He is dialed in. Heat-seeking bullets coming out of his gun.
And they're such impactful kills as well. I mean, sure, there have been situations where he was in the 1v3, and yeah, he doesn't end up winning that. But I'm looking at the scoreline, I'm surprised, because I feel like every round he's having a moment. And that's why I say super impactful. For a close game where Ghost has been leading the majority of the way in first kills, he's really bringing it back in their favor.
Oof. Brock does have a Marshall, but you see 2 pistols in the hands of a Proto and Nismo.
Don't forget, these 2 Vandals were saved from last round.
Yeah.
And that does put their money situation to a weird spot. They have to get damage done this round or win the round, most importantly. And right now, they're nowhere near able to fight.
Nismo got flashed in that cubby tuck, and then they dropped the wall out of haste, and then they rotated away. They're going to try to hit this through doors or through halls again.
This is nice, though. Okay, they're regrouping in mid to try to get this weapon in Nismo's hands, who's already low HP. But the other thing, too, that trademark from NRG is all the way over towards the B side, and they could easily flank without being noticed. But again, NRG just has such a great spread when they're setting up for this post plan. It almost feels like, yes, John's going for a couple of kills right now, but if they don't get those kills, they're already setting up potentially. Oh, that sucks. His drone just got canceled by the Viper Molly. So no way to clear past this drone. I think that might default them back into let's try to save this Vandals again.
Said they had to do some sort of damage. It looks like they want to double down and try to find it. They've already gotten 1 kill. How much more can they net? Haste this week. The flash to turn around as Haste falls. And the kill gets traded back. Is that enough? Are they satiated? Looks like they are.
Yeah, big conditions here for them to bring back this map right now. Is a couple of kills and save both of these guns, and the Proto's going to be the guy who's basically holding on. Doesn't matter if he dies there, he's just buying time so they can't catch back up to the Vandals. And if they didn't do that, I'd be scared that they don't have any potential to catch back up in the terms of score.
They're still in, I mean, financially, they're still not in a great shape, even with the saving that they've done the last couple of rounds. You're right, Paul. Both John, Koala, light armor. John is also still 1 point away from having the Tour de Force online, so it's not like he can drop money in the savings account to kind of carry it on to the next round. Like, they kind of have to do it here.
I mean, you're pulling all the money out of the savings account at this point, too. It's 3 rounds for NRG to close this out. They dodged the knife. Actually, they made it seem like they're going on their default with Ethan getting caught by that knife, and so with Som. But there's actually more players here and ready to act on this execute. That's actually somewhere where Ghost caught them completely off guard multiple times in this position because of that early knife from Nismo. And while it looked like they were prepared for it, they had something, you know, planned to counter it, doesn't necessarily feel like they have a follow-up plan right now.
Oh, this looks like NRG setting up a fake off of this threat to mid-A, right? That Viper wall going up, cutting off mid-map often suggests that teams are going to try to hit through double doors. They've dropped the spike back into Hayes' hands, and he's still alongside Tex at B.
Get out of my way.
Do they bite?
Definitely.
See, Brock is, yeah, Brock is already rotating over, but actually this has been pretty patient. A Proto's still here. Oh, they're rotating off. They're taking this hook, line, and sinker, and they have no idea.
30 seconds left.
Now they have to try to rotate and deal with this push actually through A, and Som is just pushing straight up into the back of Orange. This round wrapped up, and we've talked about it over and over. Actually, if they can clean that up fairly easily, and Ethan doesn't get any value here, this is still possible, but you have to think about this economic situation, and they are. They're trying to make every single round a gun round here, but this time I think there's actually an opportunity for NRG to wrap up these weapons. Where in previous rounds, there hasn't been. They've been too far. This could be a situation where if Ethan gets both of these guns down, the match could be over.
Yeah, you mentioned they've really invested everything. They bought down to almost nothing. John is going to have the Tour de Force into the next round, but Ethan really in a position here to put him 6 feet under, but a Proto is able to take care of that. So they're going to carry those 2 rifles in. Whew. But NRG up to 11. This has been such a dominant half out of them. Yep. Remember, it was 6-6 at half, Balla.
Yep. Yes, it was. Ghost has not gotten a single round on their, what is known as their best half. Mm-hmm. They're known as the best defensive team in this league, in this season. And it is failing them hard right now. An interesting stat. They were easily the best in defensive first kills. Right now, they're 1-4. Usually, they flip that stat, right? Usually they're going 4-2, that type of thing.
It's just been something, you know, I can't help but go back to the series yesterday against UG. Just kind of feels like Ghosts haven't really been themselves, really a shell of who they were during the regular stage. I mean, 5 rounds in a row. And honestly, the fact that...
It's more than that, Doug. It's 7 at this point.
Yeah, true, in this half. Yeah. No, you're right.
Full momentum on NRG's side.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking back to what Ender said on the desk when looking at the map veto. I'm thinking back to even my own thoughts right now. We have not seen their claim to fame. Since it's become their claim to fame, we have not seen their fade raise combos. And relying on this breeze right now. Do or die situation with low money.
Dante used the Tour de Force early on. Nismo, my goodness, that's the kind of play that Ghosts need. Nismo coming online, trying to make a play happen and pulling it off.
Just brilliant, too, the setup. Great call out of the timeout. Massive props there. To the call that they made to just tuck Nismo into that corner and pop flash late. Because they've been walking up that dry so many times. Yeah, they've locked it up. Okay, a resurgence. But here's when it gets hard. Although EU still alive.
I think the important thing here is, as much as we talked about the money, it's worth noting Koala, Proto, John, all didn't drop any. Well, Koala's now dead, so that kind of negates that. But those three players are not going to have to buy up full armor. As far as John and a Proto go, like that kind of thing matters. As you get late into this game, as economy has become such a pivotal part of whether or not Ghosts are going to be able to come back into this thing.
Yeah, for sure. And Koala dying there as well. Even just the weapon to speak of as well. It's reset time if they lose this next round. And to get reset when NRG goes into match point is unbearable. So 4 weapons carried over, not a big deal. But you're right, any money that they have to spend. And right now they're going to have to drop Koala a gun. Thankfully, El Proto has a lot of money he could spend on that. Oh.
And they're spending a lot.
Yep.
Operator in the hands of Koala right off the bat. And they have enough for armor? Is he just glass cannoning?
I think he's glass cannon, yeah. See in a second. Again, great play from a Nismo up in halls. But they don't have many more setups like that, I think, because NRG has been, yeah, sure, they're slow playing, but there's a lot of looks. And sure.
You want to play? Let's play.
Yeah. Looks like they were going to try to go for the early peek. Activates the dash instantly just in case someone's coming his way. But he's not going to get that early contest. Meanwhile, on the other side, Tex did use his tour de force right at the beginning of the round. Doesn't peek out window. Patient. As he waits to see what Ghosts are going to throw his way.
Yeah, he's actually holding an elbow. For the push that Koala and John are known to do, pair up and push, but they split them on both sides of the map. It's all coming down to a Proto right here in Koala. This wall, good, but Koala's easily going to be separated. Unless Nismo throws a cross-map knife. Right now, which just came up, I don't think he will.
Better throw fast. Proto's left on an island, but what?
The smoke.
What was that? Insane shot, but we mentioned to Proto he was going to be left alone, and sure enough, he falls. So side control in favor of NRG. And they've got Hayes playing back. Gonna have to deal with the post-plant utility, too.
Nobody on the flank to actually deal or pressure Hayes away. Nice swing, though, from Koala. 2 kills now in this round.
If they can deal with what's in front of them, then they can push their way forward. Note that EU also has 2 shock darts, so they're going to have to clear out a window. First, you got to get through Ethan. You've got to get through Ethan, but he's able to hold fast. He's able to take care of 1. Closer down to 2. The Seeker swing out as Ethan gets 3 on the round. Oh, and Brock's going to have to do it himself. With not a lot of time left, now you see the mollies come through, and it's not going to happen. NRG are going to get to map point.
He's looking for the op, but the spike is going to explode and push him away. Map point for NRG. I don't even care that he dies there. They have so much bank.
Match point.
And all they need is 1 round. What a shocker. For a team that was undefeated this season on this map, even deeper than that as well, longer than that. They get their first map loss on this yesterday. And now they're facing down the barrel of another map loss.
Just night and day. Night and day. You see a Proto with light armor and the Judge. You presume he's going to drop that Viper Spit right off the bat. Try to play around it. That's exactly what he does. A nice little setup, too, off of the trademark that's in the Viper Spit, so he can play off of it. That's a big opener for Koala, too.
He's trying so hard. Saw him escapes, but just barely. And Koala has repositioned all the way back over towards the left side of this site. And he did explore and see that the Viper's Pit was not on this side.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the cue to try to clear out halls, to try to pressure a little bit towards the other side to make a Proto at least uncomfortable in that. I mean, he just has a Judge. He cannot hold tunnels, for example.
Hayes has to stay up here. He still has his wall. Wins that duel out. Gets healed up.
He has a TP there as well. And he opts to try to fight and win the gun battle. And loses it in a critical moment where he has to be there to help a Proto on the backside. Thankfully, NRG so far not going for this. And Nismo pops his ult in middle. Can he get close enough to actually deny any utility coming back on the site? I think he just did. All the players in elbow suppressed.
Is he going to get the kills? They're going to swing on him, and he's not going to be looking. And now, off of the mid control that they have, they can just waltz their way back to A. You know that the Viper Pit's B. They're going to get free access onto this site, Balla.
Oh my goodness, it's all falling apart. I mean,
yeah, it is.
Falling apart too. Yes, they deal with EU, but to lose Koala there, who you could tell was going in hero play mode.
Yeah.
That
put team on his back, yeah.
That push from Nismo, I mean, unforced errors. He did the right thing. He actually got a lot of value with that ult.
7 HP. Brock in a seemingly unwinnable situation. Time not on his side, position given away, and the bullets come through to clean things up. A 13-7 win for NRG on Breeze. Balla, you mentioned it, undefeated up until yesterday, and in 2 days they lose that many times on the map. This is almost not the Ghost that we saw for the previous 5 weeks.
Yeah, that was a 9-0 before playoffs started, and now they have to be thinking, did we just make a huge mistake? And I think they did.
Icebox on the other side of this break. Dear friends, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
And welcome back. Another nice walk-on. Congratulations, guys. We
did good.
We can step one foot in front of the other.
We did it.
To get onto the stage. You know, it was a disappointing first match from Ghost. That was a little bit rough. Honestly, I think we had high expectations for Ghost because of the fact that they played so well throughout the group stages. But that was iffy.
Honestly, Buck, I just think Ghost fundamentally misunderstand what makes them strong as a team. Like, this is 2 days in a row now. We're going Breeze to Icebox, 2 maps that are so much about putting your contact players into situations where you take fair gunfights. Breeze is a map, you take so many fair gunfights. On all the other maps, the Raise Fade maps, like, Ghost are able to put themselves in positions where they force unfair fights, very winning fights, playing off utility, and I just think this is a big miss from them in their prep coming into the week to be opting into Breeze twice.
It is so interesting to see a team that plays so strong around coordinated utility, being able to take small advantages and turn them into multiple rounds in a row, not play to such a strong win condition of doing that for the past few weeks, showing us a different style of play that teams couldn't even step up to.
Yeah, looking early on, too, we saw multiple post plants that all just felt awkward. A lot of reliance on utility that wasn't actually stopping the defuse or stopping the retakes. Yeah, it was just kind of blind faith in the Viper that everything was going to work out. I think this one, though, is kind of takes the cake because the first one bounces off the forehead, but still.
Yeah, I mean, it bounces off her knee, and then the second one comes in, and it's too late. Also, ever since, like, the Viper nerfs, like, you can just sit through one full molly and get the defuse. Like, here's a situation where Ethan's already gotten it up to half. Of course, you're making the gamble there. A Proto thinks maybe you get off, but Ethan can full stick it. He's playing the dancing game around Pillar, and that's never a situation you want to be in. There were even some moments where, like, Ghost did end up winning 1v1s at the end of rounds, but just so many times it was falling flat. The utility was not connecting, and if it does, we have a very different situation, but regardless, my opinion is still the same. Ghost should not have come to Breeze as their first map.
I also want, we have to point out from the other side, NRG identified all this, right?
Yes.
They're like,
100%.
okay, if we're going to have them kind of flustered, let's keep pushing. Let's keep going. You know, I pointed at Sam in the beginning. He didn't have the greatest game, but the team did come around to figure out what was going to get under the skin of Ghost, and they were able to shut it down.
Yeah, especially in the second half. It felt like NRG really kind of controlled that second half. Ghost was as rough as they were in the first half, at least they were still kind of grabbing at rounds here and there. But in the second half, NRG took full control.
Yeah, you know, they were able to convert. It wasn't a pure bonus in that third round. They had a couple of rifles going for it, but like the play out of Tex was very nice to see. So many heads found in these rounds. And hey, when you're playing the chamber, like on this map, you're enabled to win rounds off of a good buy of a Deagle or of the chamber pistol as well as a Marshall. So I think NRG were able to take that and run with it. There are a few rounds too where they were able to find a big pick in mid, change their mind on which site they were going to be hitting. Like this one right here, Nismo's just sprinting through mid. All of a sudden the site is completely open and they're able to run over and read that on the fly. NRG did that very well to close out a very convincing second half.
Now the thing is, too, we're moving to Icebox, which is actually NRG's pick, and I could still hear you lamenting in the green room because this is not the maps we wanted to see Ghost get to. We don't get to see what made Ghost so good during the group stages.
Honestly, I think that Ghost may have tricked themselves into thinking something was better. That changing up for this week to come in might have given them an upper hand. And teams like NRG are riding on this stride where they've been continuously building, kind of touching the ceiling and maybe finding a way through. Here, I think they're going back to basics again. A little bit of strength, attack side. They follow with each other. We see Ethan on big pushes. I think Ghost just need to revert back to old gameplay.
Look, here's the thing. It is do or die for both of these teams,
That's
right? We're in
such a
the
big
bottom
point.
low of the
Yeah,
bracket. It's
that's
NRG's
huge.
first game, but they don't get the benefit of double elimination. For both playing for Copenhagen, which was Ghost's mindset coming in to this bracket, as well as having a chance to continue their year even in elimination in LCQ, they have to win this game. You cannot finish 7th or 8th if you're Ghost, so it must be 2 map wins in a row, or this team that caught so many people by surprise, was my dark horse to win this entire thing, will go out in 2 quick losses.
I mean, as we look at the map pool, you can see just how things ended up getting towards Icebox, and we'll be going to Ascent should that third and final map be necessary. But I think a lot of us at this point, after watching that first game, are kind of looking at this second map like this could be a 2-0 for NRG. It doesn't seem like Ghost has it in them to beat NRG with this map pool.
Ghost isn't a team that we've even seen recently. What I have a stat here, since they've lost 3 series since, what, May, I think, in Group 1. 6 out of 27 maps. The last 27 maps they've played, they've only lost 6. Add that to another one, I guess, 28. Yeah. So looking at how dominant they've been, how they've been able to roll teams no matter who came to the table, it seems like they're almost playing to the level of their opponent or what their opponent's doing more so in a game than bringing Ghost to the table.
Yeah, and I will extend a bit of a lifeline here to Ghost because yesterday, even losing the second map of Icebox, I really liked the strategy in their defensive half, right? Doing the multi-round flanks, trying to punish the post-plant setup that EG was trying to go for. That was a good look for NRG, or rather for Ghost. They caught onto it a little bit late. They lost the first 6 rounds, but that's the right idea. I have faith that Ghost can win this map still, even in an NRG pick. Ghost are a very strong team, and they do have very good players, but it's so sad to see because I do think that Ghost, if they played any other maps, if they had gone towards Haven, this should have been a very winnable series for them.
Well, we should be jumping into the agent select here in just a minute as we kick off this second map, as it is Ghost who is now currently down 1-0 to NRG, who's playing with everything they've got, bringing the things to the table just like they did in the last week. I mean, this team has constantly been counted out, and yet here they are still competing and potentially about to take down your dark horse for the tournament.
And look, NRG have reinvented themselves over the course of this stage. They were trying to play all the wild picks early on. I think Hayes said in an interview just last week that, hey, we still have that in the back of our minds. Like, we could pull out some of the wilder picks if we want, if it applies directly to their opposing team. So I think that's very cool, and yet NRG go back to what works on Breeze to win map number 1, expecting more standard picks for them as they move forward because they've looked good since adapting to the meta.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. Since the fade came in, it did seem to adjust things where we were riding high on some teams and getting ready to go with others, and it seems to be clicking now for NRG and maybe falling a bit for Ghost.
Now, you mentioned the composition yesterday that Ghost brought in. Are you hoping to see the same thing from them? You hoping to see maybe some minor changes? Anything potentially changed as we take a look at the agent select for the second map?
I think Ghost comp is fine. Like, there are some other ones that you could run, but Nismo has definitely loved to play the KO on this map, which is the only thing that I consider, hey, maybe throw a Killjoy into the mix or something like this if you want to take Page out of the EMEA book. But overall, this is a fine composition for Ghost to be running. I just want to see them adapt, pressure the flanks against NRG. NRG are starting on the attacking side. If you create flank pressure early on in a half, that lasting impression will be left for NRG, and it'll be much harder for them to control the rounds.
Well, here come the picks being locked in right now, and like you said, it's not really much of a change-up for Ghost. NRG's going to bring in the Omen. They're going to have the Sage coming in for Ethan as well. Curious on your thoughts on the way that NRG's approaching this map.
Yeah, well, Omen's been something that Sam has played before,
Correct.
So it's not a huge surprise there. It does give you a little bit more flexibility. Viper walls almost always end up going towards the B site, so having Omen smokes to block off, over towards the A site, anyone that's trying to run out on Raptors with a smoke is going to be impactful. It's a little bit harder to find value out of the Paranoia, I think, on this map compared to some others, but Sam does love playing the verticality game and using that TP to cross through mid.
I love the way it also opens up B a little bit too, because with the changes you have on that, somebody's always on top of hut. You get an open smoke up there along with a Viper wall, and they lock down B so much more. We've seen teams actually now doing this kind of multiple wall scenario where they're keep encroaching with a few more flashes and a few more positions.
It also does give them a flash. I know it's not the same as having a KO where you've got two. You don't also have the shutdown capabilities, but we are ready to jump into our second map. Again, it's Ghost who's down 1-0. NRG is looking to close things out with the 2-0. We've got our casters standing by. Doug, Balla, what do you got?
I don't know that the question's necessarily what we've got. I think all eyes go to what Ghost have, and right now it just doesn't seem like they have very much at all. Hey guys, I want to pet Ender. Like he's outrageously
so
tall in real life, so I'll never be able to do that. That might have been my only opportunity. I missed out on that. Balla, do or die time for Ghost. This is it.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much on the line right now. The chance that they definitely thought they had an opportunity to get to Copenhagen on the line. And LCQ too, and I think that's something that they thought they had locked up at this point because they had that upper bracket possibility. But now they're facing potentially not getting any more points by having a playoff appearance.
Note here, we need to talk again about Ghost's defensive side, which is where they're starting. It's historically been so good for them, but something happened between the first 5 weeks and yesterday that they've just stumbled. But this is an excellent start on the pistol. They've already gotten 2. Haste trades it back, a 4v3 in favor of Ghost.
Psalm's still up close though, but they actually have killed Wall and Noob, so this trip not going to do anything, but they're not even watching the flank at this point. It was a little weird round, and I honestly think that at this point they're thinking they might have gifted it.
Spike down.
Psalm's stuck between 3. And no, not going to wrap it up. There was a moment there where text TPs into where they're pushing. So like
into 3 of them.
And we didn't get the look on mid, so I wasn't quite sure why he did that. I'm guessing he got tagged by a dart or something like that and was afraid that Brock was going to be able to take him out through a smoke. But that's my only theory. Yeah. And yeah, that threw the round essentially. From no fault of his own, it feels like. Although I guess NRG could have been a little bit closer in garage there. Because Ghost just walked up, so. A saving grace is yes. Ender talked about how he liked their defense yesterday against EG. They are starting on that defensive side because teams continuously are picking into it on them. Because out of their map pool, this is their weakest by far, which is crazy to say because it's still 50% for them this season.
Not bad at all. See that wall essentially funneling off one of the ways that they can go down. John QT standing on top of his wall right now, and Sam was literally right beneath him for a moment. Finally spotted, and he takes a ton of damage, but John takes it right back. He has to use his heal on himself.
Really trying to chip off more than he can chew there. Good shock Molly again inside of that orb. Okay, need to push back pipes as well. They're doing a great job with utility to keep him back.
Yeah, but Qualanoob is the safety valve here. Oh no, he rotated away.
Got to kill first though. And the duel's still happening, so they can't even go back to B because they think that there's so much control there. Koala just falls back into the safety of his TP, and they'll choose to just fight back at A. There's no more utility here though. So when the smoke comes down from Sam, they'll be able to fight dry with their classics and maybe find a bulldog of their own, but no, it's just left up to Sam, and he has nothing in the sight. The last player EU is all the way back behind 410. And it's a Prime Gaming flawless on the anti-eco.
And this is an important thing we needed to see out of Ghost. We needed to see them start strong on the defensive side. It seems to be the case at least for now, but this is really where NRG are a position that they can punch back in a meaningful way for the first time that we've seen this entire series. Nice shot out of Koala. Never mind the 4 bullets that missed, right?
We won't talk about them. Yeah, guns up for NRG. And we have to see, this is the only map that they're not falling back towards comfort. This is the only map that they're sticking with what was off meta, what made them unique. Throughout the group stages, and Koala continues his absurd first kill conversions here. Another pop flash from Nismo. These are dangerous.
Sam has figured out the pop flashes. If you just swing into it, you'll be all right.
If you catch the timing, essentially.
Number still in favor of Ghost here. as both EU and Tex have fallen. Note here, this is the bonus, right? Like, you've got Spectres, a Bulldog, Koala. I mean, Koala didn't have to buy up at all. All he had was the Headhunter, and he's already found value there.
I do love how Brock is repositioning within that site, showing himself back 410 and then getting up into Nest. It almost costed him last round, but this time, NRG has other plans.
Very well played. Very well played for Ethan to swing out at just the right time, but a Proto is able to keep back the rest of the members of NRG. Hayes and Ethan both fall. Sam's able to take one for his trouble, so this is a 1v2, and he's going to get onto the site first.
Yeah, this is where Omen gets a little tricky. He doesn't have any TPs, but he could easily get out of a position here. And John's fast enough that he cannot fall away, so Ghost recover and actually win their bonus round. For a second, I thought the NRG was going to take huge advantage of the way that mid fight went off when Ethan got the kill on the Koala, who was completely tunneled on the TP of Psalm, the TP from Psalm.
Yep.
Either way, it works out. I thought for a second they were shooting their own teammate. No, but that was Ethan's body. We're good.
A little confidence coming out of him. Up 3-0. In a position here to really run away with this thing. NRG have been able to buy, and they've gone back to light armor.
Yeah.
Full rifles the whole way.
But they're playing against a Judge and one Phantom in the hands of a Proto. And if they go towards the A site, that's where it's at. So all the light armor potentially nullified. The reason for that, of course, is if you go against Vandal players, you're getting one tapped anyways. The Phantom with full armor takes 2 shots to the head even. So they just opt instead for light armor, hoping that they're going against Vandals. For the most part, they are. It just gave away the position, by the way, of the fact that there is a buy on board with those shots.
Koala with the Judge, as you mentioned. A ratty little spot here. The drone.
Did he just silent jump that?
I think he did. Yeah, now they know where he is. He may be in trouble here.
He could, but he has a TP anyways, and with the Judge, he's in an angle that he could just take one fight. Yeah.
There you go. Big kill there on the Ethan. And the numbers for NRG have kind of fallen. They're already down to 3. Sam's able to get a big one onto a Proto, though. Tries to go up and then repositions. This is bloody brilliant, but is Brock waiting for it? Oh, yes, he is. Hayes is going to get the spike down. A shock dart at his feet. While it hurt, it didn't hurt too bad. He's able to get back.
There's only one Molly. Yeah. I think what he wants to do here is get back on this flank. Because it is... Oh, I thought it was planted up in Nest. No, it's down below.
Yeah.
Revealing area.
He's going to try to actually use this Molly.
Wow.
And there's...
It's early. Early, though. It's early, yeah. Yeah, he's just going to be able to stick it through. And even if he hadn't, be able to toggle it off. Koala gets 3 on the round there as Ghost gets to 4. You see that light armor thing. I mean, they just really weren't able to find a ton out of it. But where this really comes into play is in the finances, in the economic implications of it. And as you see, you've got a Marshall, you have a Tour de Force, but it didn't look like much other than that.
Sure. Yeah, just netting a couple more full buys in situations that they're unexpected like that round. But if Ghost survive them, then this might be another situation where it just kind of falls flat on its face. I'm actually surprised that Nismo's able to stick that all the way through with the orb on top of it. I know we're talking about the patch from last game. Ooh, no punish out of EU.
Aggressive looks out of Koala. That Tour de Force.
TP up. He could get... No, he missed it. He wanted to TP and punish there as Koala tried to fall off.
Note the buy for NRG. Less than desirable. Sam and EU are the only ones without pistols. The Spike is still sitting back in spawn. They haven't really decided where they want to go with this thing. They double back into B?
What a shot.
Yep.
As the Tour de Force gone. No presence now. But the problem is, all they would have to try to plant that Spike is a measly Sage Wall. because the Viper wall's already committed towards mid, and they're not even going to use this to pivot. All they did was threaten a mid lurk so that Tex potentially could get himself a kill on this A side, but he actually backed up quite a ways.
John just used his wall on B.
Had to deny that plant with 30 seconds left. Might as well against pistols potentially.
30
Yeah,
seconds left.
It's just a gamble, right? Like, you're not sure. Now you're not going to have it for a retake on A. Assuming it gets to that point, their wall goes up. Courtesy of Ethan. Spike's still not planted yet. You're seeing some of the delay of utility as Brock's able to take care of Ethan early on, trying to get a second. Not going to do it. 13 seconds left. NRG are going to have to get the spike down, and they're going to have to do it soon. It seems like they've been able to weather things just long enough to get it down. They do. Oh, this is a problem. Oh, this is a massive problem. Now the Viper spits in the fold, too. Spots two. Ismo. Oh, I'd hit her. I'd hit her. Nays has to run away. Ismo still in a spot here, but too many targets at the end. The Thrifty comes through as NRG are on the board.
Such a great round from them, but specifically Tex, man. The monster that's haunting Ghost on this chamber right now with that headhunter. He is feeling it all series long. Only 2 kills on the board, but again, so impactful in the back of sight there.
And if nothing else, fun to look at. I mean, like, those shots were crispy.
Mm-hmm. First Thrifty round win of the series, I believe, as well.
Oh, I think you're right, yeah.
I mean, when either team is winning, it's been clean on the gun rounds.
Here.
What they're doing great here, NRG, is picking apart the rotations out of this A site. That's twice now that they got himself in great position in post plant after a lurk happened. First it was Psalm. This next time it was Tex. And I do like how they have 2 different looks to pressure mid. A lot of teams just have, you know, the same orb over and over. Somebody tries to walk past with a chamber TP or a jet dash or something like that, break the trip. But they've had 3 players now over towards the B side just to deal with potentially that lurk up. And NRG haven't even lurked up. Except for the 1 round on the eco where they tried to split mid.
Mm-hmm. So after NRG burn the majority of the clock. There they go. Well, I thought for a second he didn't see it. The shot goes wide. He has to teleport away. So Yellow's been given up. And Koala's down to 45 HP.
He juked you too. He was trying to bait Psalm into sticking that TP.
You think so?
Yeah, great denial here on the utility. And
Top
13
flash.
seconds left. I mean, they still got to get on this site. There's slows available for John.
Wall's up. They're going to have to spam through it to try to deny it. 5 seconds. I don't think they're going to do it. Oh, my gosh.
They get all the kills.
No, it's not going to happen.
Ooh.
Excellent holdout from Ghost.
And the econ res to boot. Flicky shots there from John. Okay, we didn't get to see it, but really, really well done. I mean, that utility combination to deny that plant late in the round. Gorgeous stuff from Ghost. And their defensive side right now definitely hitting back at the levels that we expect from this team.
That was nice out from Sam, and I want to say, well, it was John who killed Hayes, who was trying to get the plant down. I thought for a moment it was Brock who did, and you see, like, had that timing just gone half a second earlier, Hayes may have been able to get the spike down, but I think, Ball, you mentioned the excellent use of utility from Ghost to deny the plant. I think we also have to talk about the fact that NRG waited until the last waking moments of the round
to
decide that they wanted to hit B.
Yeah, and that has been 2 rounds in a row right now, where they're really winding the clock down. And part of that is because Koala has had such impact pushing that B lane. And I think, what was it, pistol round? No, pistol round they pushed mid or straight up B lane as well. Just the threat of that from Koala alone is enough for them to really, really take their time. It could be either aggressive or just hiding inside of some cubby that Nismo is really threatening to deny them to use the drone and whatnot. So that interaction, super important, and does cost them a lot of time. But you're right, they need to speed up. And I think they will. Another buy hobbled together off the back of Texas 2 and 4 save.
Let's play.
Bulldog, light armor on 2 members. The Viper spit out for a Proto right at the beginning. How do they deal with this?
This one denies Pipe's control as well as crossing over with the rope. Actually, no.
He's gonna try. Into his smoke. Oh, and he gets spammed through. Yeah, they knew the Hunter Fury's gonna come out. And he was able to find one, but the spike still hasn't made its way out. Now you've got the wall you're gonna have to deal with if you want to try to get past 410. I'm really surprised John peeked that.
I mean, I'm surprised he was able to get that kill through the wall there as well. And all the success that they had at stopping this push right now, for sure, kind of nullified by NRG's success at responding with the kills.
Yeah, but they still aren't really much further than they were at the beginning of the round. They're just now getting past up to 410.
Both players here on the backside of this easily able to get taken out.
Yeah.
So if they get the site, they get the plant.
Koala's going to have to hurry if you want to have an impact on this, as it feels like the site's about to be taken. Nismo's already fallen. The kills get traded out as it's still a 2v2 here, and there's Koala just in the nick of time. Again, the clock down to almost nothing as he used left in this 1v2. The tap, shock dart in his lap, sees the second one come through. And he should be able to get the spike down unless the challenge comes in from Ness at the right time. What on earth was that? He's not going to get the spike down. Ghosts are going to win the round, but how did he get that kill?
Oh, Koala still scoped in that moment too. I mean, EU is making them work for those moments. But we're now facing a 6-1 scoreline. And credit to both sides. The utility again was brilliant. From the NRG side, when they took that 410 side, Nismo had no chance.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He got shock darted, he got mollied, he couldn't move at all. And then he got taken out by Hayes. And then on the retake, when the retake started happening, Brock just getting those shocks onto EU delayed the plan enough for him to actually try to fight and challenge it. So good.
EU still playing back in spawn with a Marshall. Thought he was perhaps lining a shock dart up to clear out any sort of utility in kitchen, but he still has those 2 shock darts. And now they aggress towards B. Sam with the hero rifle and Ethan has a stinger too.
Even when NRG has this wall for the mid split, they're still using that orb in mid as well. So a little bit of double dipping. Which speaks to, again, the way that they've been trying to innovate with these comps, not necessarily filling out all the gaps. Overlooking certain things. The wall up!
Big one. That's a big one. Nismo's able to get a second. Attacks down to almost nothing.
They fight
Ethan.
this.
Yeah, that kill had to go their way. NRG just kind of fall apart at the end there. Brock was really the only blemish on the round as Ghosts get to 7. They show no signs of slowing down. NRG seemed to be in trouble here in this half, Bala.
Oh, yes. I mean, that last round, they looked like fish in a barrel. They're just running around. Not able to find anything. No idea of exactly how to plant. One player's playing aggressive. That's Sam. And I'm not even seeing much value out of the paranoia from him so far this game. Here we go. Something different here.
Scanning ahead.
Line up for the orb down inside of middle, potentially on top of bridge or top nest. Which in the past, I've seen them be able to try to TP up there, but the only TP Sam has is the ult. It's so much utility just exchanged there, but they're walking dry over towards A. With no value found actually in mid. Look at this re-clear from Ghost.
Nice shot. But he sticks around a bit too long. Kills go back and forth. 3v3 left on the round. The res is going to bring him back.
Oh, Nismo almost canceled that res.
Oh my gosh, what a shot out from John. Is he going to be able to find the second? No. Has to back up. The heal, the flash is Nismo. Wants to fight.
Oh, I thought he could have gone up on top of that wall with a flash. He's going to have to fall back and heed the potential lurk. But neither actually saw him or Tex, which are the guys that go for that, are alive. So instead, NRG grouped up, deathballed towards this B side. It's all up to John.
30 seconds left.
With 24 armor, full health. Only one slower up to his name. And I don't know that he knows. Now he knows something's up, and oh my goodness, no way! He's able to get one there, that's massive! They're gonna get the spike down with 12 seconds left in the round. Now assume their post plants. EU has 2 shock darts, but instead he's still choosing to play back yellow.
I'm not really sure if they have information on EU right now. Just causing Koala to be a lot more careful as he comes through middle.
No, EU here is in trouble. Yeah, he had no armor, man. That fragment, everything was being thrown his way. The kills swing through in favor of Ghost in a pretty meaningful way as they're going to get to 8. And it really seems like the Ghosts that we've talked about, you know, I thought to myself so many times, like, where are Ghosts? What happened? Where have they gone? It seems like they're back.
It was all doom and gloom at the beginning of this map. It was certainly...
For good reason, right? I mean... No?
No, I agree, yeah, for good reason. I mean, I almost didn't disagree with anything the desk said. And they were harsh about that Breeze game.
Yeah.
But not all things come in twos, and it might not be an 0-2 for Ghost at the end of the day. Following up on that EG loss yesterday, it might just be Ghost clapping back for 3 maps. And this is where the depth of their pool shines, but there we go. That is a finally Koala not having success with a push.
The Hunter's Fury, and Nismo's going to push through it. Of course he is, but he's waiting for it. Tried to get a little cheeky, but Nismo plays when Nismo plays at the pace that he plays so frequently, you just kind of expect it.
Yeah, and you could tell NRG had the read on that, right? As soon as that Hunter's Fury comes out, people just back up. They do a little Marine split. And then they just watch the push.
Yeah. Numbers up towards NRG in a really big way. A 5v3. I don't think they've had the numbers advantage very much at all this half, if perhaps at all. And it's just gotten worse as Brock falls. NRG have so many options on where they plan, how they plan. It's really just
Spike planted.
John who's on the site. Hayes is waiting for the flank. If he gets the timing right, he does. John will be left alone. Nice thing is he's got some money to play with, but Prime Gaming Flawless comes through for NRG as they get the second one.
You were mentioning the man advantages that NRG has gotten. So far this half, they've only gotten 3. And that's including this round. That just happened. Goes to 7 for his kills.
Take a look at that round come through one more time. We talked about the aggression that Nismo likes to play with and how NRG were almost expecting it. And honestly, Balo, when you look at Icebox and how heavily it's gone in favor of Ghost, the fact that there are still things that are at least pseudo-readable for NRG suggests that there may be some hope here.
There's another. I mean, plenty of hope now that we see that. And it's something that actually Summon's not been pulling out this game at all, but one of the reasons why they were running this Omen in the first place was that instant pressure you get on the top of that lane. Oh, he just popped his ult.
Wow. Oh, that's massive. Ghost potentially flirting with a 9-2 here if they can pull this thing off. Tex on the timing on his own. Again, shot so true. He hasn't missed very much at all. He's going to get a shot at more. Second on the round. John looking to take the fight to his doorstep. Wins that duel out.
Hunter's Fury to potentially counter this, and they don't.
He's slipped in undetected, and now the Hunter's Fury's come through. John gets it to half and pulls off. Nismo goes aggressive, tries to go fighting. It's all left onto John, and he's not going to pull it off. NRG are going to take the round to get us to 8-3.
Just really nice stuff. Once they're able to get that first kill, it feels like they've finally got an idea of how to actually convert those moments.
Yeah.
Starts off by a flank from Hayes through mid, and then a flank by Tex, and then a flank by EU in the final moments of this round.
The classic triple flank.
Well, they got so much time off the initial beat pick from Som onto Koala Dude.
Enemy remaining.
And because they're in pressuring so much, you actually have Nismo playing back inside that B lane. So he has to try to rotate and catch up, and Hayes tries to pick him apart. So Som at 13-8 on this Omen, playing quite well. I think these last couple of rounds, getting those entries, has a little fire under them.
Whereas for Ghost here, you see the timeout come through. Given the fact that NRG have been able to rattle the last couple of rounds together, Ghost understanding, like, we have the timeout. It's the last round of the half. A 9-3 here would be huge for them to continue to build into that lead, to make it as cozy as possible, given the fact that Ghosts have been a bit touch and go since yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, this is not something that we've been used to seeing throughout the season, but John QT has been their best player this series so far.
Yeah, he is.
And it's because, oh, Nismo almost got punished there. Trying to get too close to that Viper Molly Shock Dart combo, slow combo. But it does, it denies the aggression, so they have to take these off battles instead.
Yeah. Double op, by the way, for NRG on attack.
Just because last round getting that extra money. He's actually juggling it all the way to duel potentially what will be a Proto in this lane. But look, actually a Proto has they've gotten a wall here and also a Viper Orb.
And now, and a Proto off of that, he was able to get the Viper Spit he didn't have at the beginning of the round.
Yeah, so he could react and place this. The interesting thing about this one, though, if they put it on the B side, is NRG can still get the plant down. It only really works to retake and fight back through.
Yeah, that wall's up, they spam through it, the res comes through. Do they commit to the plant? The plant's gone back yellow. The spike isn't even in the pit right now. The ult, and Som's gonna stick it. Oh, he's gonna stick it. Ghosts are gonna have to deal with the fight at multiple fronts. The rotation's gonna come through, but is it gonna be too late?
Good pivot from them.
Yeah, they've managed to circumvent the Viper's pit and get the spike down, but now Ghosts have shown up and they're getting the kills that they need. Som and Ethan are left alone here in this 2v3. They're split. Koala trying to take a fight here from far away as a Proto gets 3 on the round. Been a hero for Ghost here. And while Som has had one heck of a half so far, this would be insane. Out of him with 20 HP. Flick was good for 1, but that's all it's going to be good for. Ghosts are going to get the defuse. They're going to get to a 9-3 half, and I know 9-3 is a touchy subject these days, but we'll see how it pans out, friends. We'll be right back. Ball, you seem like a wise man. Weathered, seen a few things, cultured in life. I have a question for you.
Do I believe in the 9-3 curse?
Do you believe in curses?
Well, I didn't know you were going to ask that. This particular one? No, I don't.
No?
No. That might be a, I don't know, contrarian take, hot take, something like that. You were like, what? The 9 curse is real. It's not real. Stop lying to yourselves.
NRG may have a word to share with you, depending how the rest of this half turns out. Remember, friends, this is potentially elimination half for Ghosts. If for some reason they manage to fumble the bag in a massive way, they would be out. They would be done.
Yep. The entire season that they've put together an amazing roster for, essentially gone to waste. But that's neither here nor there, because 9-3 curses don't exist. They're going to challenge Tex, who has been lights out with this headhunter. They're not even really taking the space with the drone until now. Doesn't find anything because of it. Going right back for it. That is so cool. He took away the TP to make it seem like he's not back. And he just walks back into it.
Yeah, but no, there's no way out here. So for some reason, oh, he dodged the knife. They still don't know.
And the one-way thrown by Som. He dodged the dart, too.
Surprise! They know now. Tex 1, not able to get the second. The kill gets traded out as it's a 3v3 for the round. He got the molly in his lap as it seems like John can't really find a way in. A 2v2 now. Kills have been traded back and forth every single time. A 1v1 now. John, nice HP for a second there. Manages to get the spike down. Battle of the Sages. Spike ticking. John jumping. Sounds been given away as he gives off every single bit of an audio cue, and Ethan, that's just too easy, man.
Yeah, that was way too easy. Ethan, he had the high ground. I don't know what he thought was happening in that situation. John, unfortunately, we've seen him in so many of these 1v1 clutches this series. And NRG will respond with a pistol. They've traded so far on both maps. And NRG, after the last map, during the last map, they strung it to basically a flawless half. They only lost one round after that pistol round win. So let's see. I mean, this to me was a brilliantly played eco round. The pistol round by Tex pushing back up there. Psalm, you got clear value out of his Omen for once in this game by refreshing that one way. That was down because Hayes' fuel ran out. And again, threatening the Omen TP possibility on top of Belt.
Nismo, very quickly ball it. Nismo with a Guardian and full armor. Here, like, they're buying into things at least a little bit, see if they can get any value out of that.
Rock dropped in the Guardian. Relying on their star, and they're trying to push on site, but no, they just get the orb and fall back. Nismo's going to lead the charge back through either B or mid here.
They have to be so careful here. No idea if anyone's flanked around. Yeah, no utility, no nothing to keep him back, and that's why you see them so trepidatiously peeking every single corner, making sure there's nothing left in wait.
Yeah, Nismo, I mean, he's the guy, and it is going to be mid. NRG has responded by putting down a wall on that B side. It would be harder to plant from that side, but it's not going to go that way, and Nismo gets the kill.
Oh, Bala, there's a judge. Oh, there's a judge! EU down to 17 HP. The wall should provide safe passage, but you're just going to funnel right into Ethan's welcoming arms.
30 seconds left.
And John's left alone in this 1v4. The Guardian's been picked up by EU, so it's not even like John can get to it somehow. Shock Dart, the Marshal. Way too much headed his way. NRG wins the second round at the second half.
And while you definitely can rely on Nismo to pull together a round, that's just a tough ask from the guy. Gets the one shot and then has to fight a judge through mid after they have to like rush when there's very little time left on the clock. They will be able to scrape together a buy though, pulling a page out of NRG's book here. Surprisingly enough, because they only got the spike down in that first round, and clearly they spent a lot of money into it. Brock is left with just a Spectre and a light armor. That knife could punish him because this is going to land and break the slow. Yeah, he got it off before it landed, so. A-okay from Ethan, and he re-clears. Dangerous game.
Toxin screen down.
Silence here from Ghost. So wait to see how they want to play this out. Nismo, no knife. Tex not really in a position to be punished off the knife. Like he's stranded. He's got some mobility here depending on how they challenge, but you see the drone come out and they backed up almost instantly. It seemed like magnets that were repelling each other, and now they can reassess, and you've got everything thrown. You've got the drone, you've got the slow orb, you've got everything coming his way. Push Tex off the site, but they left Sam and wait. And they know where he is. Can they keep him back? Oh, Tex isn't able to find anything. Ghosts are able to bully their way through here. It was a lighter buyout from NRG. Got the Guardian, the Spectre. And Ghosts seem to be perfectly okay with what's being thrown their way.
Psalm tried to re-aggro in the top of Nest there to potentially deny that spike.
Ethan, oh no, Ethan's up high, and Hayes is able to get one too. It's a 2v2, and Hayes, while a couple of bullets went wide, he's able to clear it at the end. 13 seconds left, and Proto's gonna have to do it himself, and he's not. NRG get the round off of Hayes 3K.
And the same spot that Sam went to. Massive value against that old school wall that continues to show prominence. Right here, Ethan over the top, and Hayes as well to defend the Brock trade attempt. Also, massive credit to Sam. Sure, he died of it in the end, but getting those two smokes down denied one lane entirely. That was the one way over towards pipes. They can't push through 410 with that. And then the second one that's on top of the Viper wall makes it so difficult for them to go through. And then he gets a paranoia as well to delay even further. What?
Spike down B.
Yeah.
I mean, look, come on. Tex is having one of those days, man, where it feels like nothing can miss for him. But he's got to be put in situations where, I mean, you don't want to put him in a situation where he has to no-scope to get out, but to actually fight. So far this half, yes, it's been going good. That pistol round and obviously this round too.
Second for him. We might as well just keep watching him at this point. Yeah, it's just against pistols, but Tex has gotten 3 on the round, make that 4. Proto paranoia'd up. See if they steal the ace from him. Yeah, he was able to clean that up at the end, but a 4K out from Tex, excuse me, with the operator.
Yeah.
Get NRG to 7.
I mean, that's not necessarily the type of round you expect from Tex, honestly. He hasn't been, sure, he's playing the chamber full time, and this is his role, right? He's playing the op, but he hasn't been, out of the players that are maining chamber this season, hasn't been the most flashiest of ops.
Nope, not until today.
Yeah. Just right outside the top 10 in terms of overall op kills. And that might be, you know, levied a little bit by the fact that they've lost a lot, but also had a lot of sample size now. There's that aggressive push from Som. He doesn't do it with the smoke, though, because the smoke is intended to bait and have them prepared for when he could do that. And then he does something else, so they're not ready for it. But he was doing that against 100 Thieves, so Ghost better be prepared for it. And it looks like they repelled that pretty easily. Man, I mean, Ghost is so slow this half. Compare that to Breeze, where it felt like it was such up-tempo.
The thing is, we've seen this look out from Ghost a couple of rounds now. Dump, same bit of utility, but this time there was a bit of a mid-lurk through Koala, and Hayes was ready for it. He was waiting. Do they have the wall? Yeah, John still has his wall, but Nismo's already fallen. NRG have been able to hold fast so far. My goodness!
Player standing.
Ghosts are just falling apart.
It almost feels like the way that they're calling as well, it feels like they understand that this is throwable for them, and they're leaning into that. Because that slowness, the hero play from Koala there, trying to walk through a Viper Molly inside of mid. Doug, you asked me if I believe in curses.
Don't, no. Listen, you dug your grave.
10 seconds left.
We won't revisit that until later. Ball, I will say this, though, because I think this is interesting. You take a look at Ghost, you take a look at their roster, how young they are, how this is their first VCT experience for them, and they roar through the group stage, right? They look good. They're like the hottest topic in VCT, and then they hit playoffs and they get punched in the mouth in a way that they haven't really been hit before. Like it's moments like this where you learn what a team is made of, and I kind of wonder here if Ghost almost feel like they're playing not to lose instead of playing to win.
Yeah, that's great analysis.
Thanks, man.
I agree. That is what it feels like, and makes me fearful. I think there's certain players, Koala specifically, who's trying his darndest to get this game back and under control. Yeah. But we saw that on Breeze too, and we saw how that turned out.
Again, another slow round out from Ghost. This time with just pistols. Koala noobs tour de force. No longer a factor. Nismo's the only one left with any sort of extra oomph behind him other than those pistols.
The crazy part about this comeback right now from NRG, Ghost has been playing so slow.
Yeah.
And yet it feels like they've brought this back so fast. The res is back online, so 5v5, but this is, again, an eco round. Only a couple pistols and a tour de force.
They're so confident in their ability to win this round that they're willing to invest the res late in the second half of an elimination match. They've got to find value out of it, and I don't know that they will. Tex has already gotten Koala. Poor guys died twice this round. The Vipers pit out from a Proto as they double down again. The shot dart. John gets a spike down.
Picked up 2 guns.
Proto's the only healthy one. And Tex who's been an absolute menace this entire series in a position
The
to
TP.
cause more problems.
He's above them. John QT has no clue right now, and he might be able to just get that free kill. No, he gets it himself.
With the Sheriff, and Brock swings through, spams into the pit, and is able to find another one, but there's Tex with the third on the round. John!
Thrifty.
How had they get that? My goodness, they threw everything they had behind that punch ball.
And it had to be now, honestly. Every single thing that they had. You're absolutely right. And I'm looking at the ults to figure out, oh, what did they actually use? Tour de Force, Viper's Pit from a Proto, and John QT's res, but he has 4 orbs right back online. So they have a lot of staying power now. From what felt like they had nothing, to all of a sudden being in a great spot. NRG still a lot of bank, though.
Teleport's ready.
Looks like Sam wants to go aggressive again with Tex, though, this time. He's up in Nest. And they don't fully commit to stopping this aggression with the utility.
Little high-low, Tex is there, he gets pushed off, but Sam has been left. The trap is there, my goodness, he saw ahead. Did the Proto see him? Yeah, they know, they turn, they spam. They take care of him. Koala gets a second. On the round already, the flash, Tex gets pushed off. This has been the cleanest, I think, attack round we've seen out of Ghost so far, Ball.
Yeah, it has. But it was seconds away from not being
From
that
disaster.
clean.
Yeah.
It was seconds away from Sam being able to get 4. You know, that type of thing. Maybe not 4. Maybe I'm putting a little too much faith in the Sam top Nest. But still.
It's good storytelling, though.
Yeah.
It gets you excited.
Yeah, thank you.
Clean round out from Ghost. But you're right. Very easily could have gone the other way. Thing for NRG here is it looks like they're going to be able to save the op. Tex has the Tour de Force in his back pocket too, so he's going to be able to really lean into this. They've got some options, right? There's some depth to what they have at their disposal.
That round, though, is, I mean, obviously, it was clean from Ghost. But the only reason it was clean was because NRG went for that aggro play in the first place, right?
And a Proto spotted, right? Like that was just off of the jump into the box.
But
had he
wasn't
done that.
He wasn't supposed to. My point is NRG is the one who went for the initiative in that round, and it didn't pay off. Whereas Ghost did not go for the initiative. And they haven't really had that since potentially maybe you could call it that on the eco round, where they get the res, they get the Viper's Pit down, where they stop the streak from NRG, which, by the way, was 6 rounds in a row.
Bloody mess of a round. You know, there are games, really close ones, where you can often point to like one moment, one round that changes everything. Either stops some momentum, builds off of some crazy momentum to get things going back their way, what have you. Depending on how this turns out, we may all be looking back at round 18, the decision to bring the res back, and the Viper's Pit too, they invested everything, and it may have paid off. Such a pivotal round for this map.
NRG with the timeout call there. But in the overall series, I have felt that Ghost has come out with great ideas in the timeouts.
Yeah, yep.
So what is it going to be from NRG? They're actually going to double op this round. So Sam's got one and Tex has got one. And with the slow, he might get aggressive with this as well. Again, up on top of 410 this time.
Sam holding that angle. Rock with the drone. Now they know there's one op here. They dropped the Hunter series. Gonna be able to get away? Yeah.
He waited for that first laser to come out before he TPs, but they've given up the site now. And with 2 ops, it's gonna be hard to retake unless backside Ethan could do something. He gets 1.
EU's close by 2 to provide a little bit of cover as Ethan decides to go hunting. He's only got 75 HP, no armor to his name. Make that 0. Jean gets the spike down.
Ooh.
The op from Sam, yeah, but that's all he's gonna get.
He was on top of the opponent's wall there to plant the spike in top Nest. Ridiculous angle, but it is all he's gonna get. 3v3 now.
On here's Tex. Lifted Tour de Force. Flicks have been immaculate. He's got a chance at another. No, it doesn't land this time. 2v2.
Enemy remaining.
Proto left alone. He's not able to land the shots as Hayes Winston's out against the Proto. They're going to get the defuse. 11-9 NRG are not quite done with Icebox yet.
Not at all. But thankfully, Ghost has given themselves a little bit of a buffer with those couple of round wins that they strung together. And they are starting to chip into that bank of NRG. Full reset of the economy. They'll easily be able to buy potentially the next 2 rounds. But Ghost is building their own. So this is a resilient Ghost, and they're already up to 11. This time, no double op from NRG. Kind of worked that round, although I think that was a little creative from Sam on the back of sight. That netted them anything to do on that retake, any staying power at all.
Yeah, very creative, I'd say, yeah. Also, a little bit of indecision at the end there. It looked like Koala was going to have an op. Swapped out for a Vandal late. Keep that money nice and cozy. Hex gets pushed off.
They went for that smoke play again to threaten the aggression into it. Something that they can pull out again in future rounds and actually act on it. This drone is potentially going to get some massive information. Just spots Koala, everybody else hides from it, but still, at least one player that deep towards A gives you a little bit of something. Smoke out from Sam, but they're already in front of it.
Note Sam has his ult, he likes to flip the map. He's been aggressive before. Is he going to have a chance to do it again? Yeah, a couple of shots into the back of Nismo. He never had a chance. Sam falls. Numbers in favor of Ghost.
You will not kill
Oh,
my
the spam.
The remaining members of NRG now starting to show up
Shot
as the
volley.
res comes through. There it is. Spike down, Hayes. Oh, the timing on the swing is perfect. EU and Tech's the only 2 that remain. Tech's not able to land the shots. And EU with 36 HP somehow has to try to keep Ghost back from that point. And he's not going to be able to do it. Ghost get to 12.
Just a great push there.
Match
Through the smoke of Sam on top of pipes. Gets him killed immediately. And while for the majority of this half, Ghost was struggling to get the first kills, last 2 rounds it really feels like they're starting to do something. And last 4 rounds they've gotten a breath of fresh air, a breath of life. As they want so badly to go to Ascent as the 3rd map. So badly to move on. Aggressive play down mid actually here.
We haven't
Texas
seen much
walked
of this, yeah.
all the way down with an op, so if they do choose to go back, this could get really punished.
They're also going to have to navigate through the trademark that was left from Tex, just on the other side of yellow.
Which is just delay as well, towards the plan.
Pop flash, they swing out, the wall goes there. And I wonder, is that going to keep the trip from going off? I don't think it spotted Nismo. And look, he wants to go aggressive. He's tried this play a couple of times, but it was often off of the back of some cover, of a smoke, of a wall, of something. But that's not the case this time, and off of that, he dies.
I think the wall blocked the trademark.
Yeah. Tucked away in there. And actually, worth noting that
That could
may
go
be a
off later.
problem later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
30
Once this
seconds.
wall
Spam
falls,
through.
they hear it.
Don gets a spike down. There's Sam with his ult. Koala. Not able to land the shot. Brock is still on site. Oh, he hears everything around him, but the timing out from Hayes is great too. It's a 5v2 as Ghost. Trying to put Icebox away. The spam through. John, patient.
Last player standing.
So patient, and he's got a jumping classic in his face out from Ethan as NRG are going to get the defuse and get to 10.
Patience is great there. Those retake smokes even better. Not something you see too often because we never bring omens on this map. But the power there, you could tell. And I think NRG just did exactly what they need to do to stay in contention for this overtime. The fact that they stayed alive with 4 players on the brink of being broke economically. And they carry the op over. Ethan's got res. There's a lot of good ults here. They have to deal now with how Nismo uses his null command. This is an insta-pop for Hazed, and I like it. Does not want to risk the potential of getting knifed, of getting ulted. But it does lay a stake in the ground for Ghost. They're going to have to get through that. It's either a target or just complete aversion. They get to make that decision early instead of late.
Ghost again, quiet. As we near the 1 minute mark left in the round. They have that null command that you mentioned. And NRG are just immovable right now.
They're waiting. Just waiting for either the ult or that orb to come up for him to dart
or
through.
Literally anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything. He uses the no command. Nismo pushing his way forward. The flash is going to swing out. Of course he is! He spots one, but the Som lands that shot anyway!
Full blind.
Unreal!
30 seconds left.
Now the res comes out. A Proto's going to have to land a filthy shot, and it's not going to happen. Ghosts continue to crumble.
And with 20 seconds left, there's no chance of making it back through the site.
Yeah, no shot.
So they're just going to save the weapons. Great response on so many fronts. And it's crazy, too, because that mid-fight, that mid-play that EU did make, in a lot of instances when a KO ults on the A site, you're going to expect a lot through A, right? You're going to expect them to barrel through, try to get through that Viper's Pit. But instead, EU reacts. And there's actually 2 players there to connect with, right? It was Tex who fell back, I believe with, who was it? Not Tex, sorry. Koala, who fell back with a Proto in towards mid. They handle that so easily. This blind shot from Som 2 obviously gets a lot of value. Still able to use his paranoia for Hazed to fight back through his Viper's Pit. And a last-ditch effort.
Even little things, man. Like Ethan taking like a couple of steps to the left to then swing out and peek up top instead of swinging off of the rest spot to break crosshair placement. Like, these little things that NRG are doing, they're doing them so well. And then it helps that you get a fully blind Vandal spam headshot.
Absolutely. Last chance to put this game away for Ghost. To put the worries about them throwing a map that was so winnable. 9-3 at the half. 1 round away from going to Ascent. And NRG want to end it now because they know the chances of Ghost coming out with massive strength on Ascent in the final map is huge. I mean, we've talked about their Fade Rays enough. Their Ascent is a place where it's great as well. So NRG trying to dodge that bullet and win with the game plan and map pool that they got.
EU with the Hunter Siri text with the op. Only ultimates to speak of as of right now. They're just going to contact their way in. No, they have the drone. They have the knife. They're going to hit again. A very similar look.
He dodged the knife. So still has the flash available and the second smoke.
Cheeky little wall there to cut off. Look, they've gotten so used to Nismo and the rest of Ghost like pushing around the left side of the site that they put that wall up preemptively out from Ethan to keep him back. Focus the fight on the right side.
Massive line of NRG players here to fight here. Koala gets the first kill though, and Som's isolated in the back of sight. He gets one though.
NRG is gonna have to make a last stand, and it seems like they're doing it. EU gets one with the Hunter's Fury. Koala's left alone to try to deny overtime. And he's not gonna be able to do it. 24 rounds was not enough. We need a bit more.
Switching sides.
Jeez Louise, NRG with a comeback. A massive comeback. Down 6 rounds at the half. Win the pistol and string back so many more. Unreal from Som. Viper Molly landing at the same time as the ult is going out, by the way, and that fight is taking place. So Sam might have been by himself in the gun sense, but he had the whole team behind him on that retake, on that hold. 2 rounds away now, NRG, to putting Ghost away. They have an opportunity to get on their own match point.
Keep your eye on
We do swap sides, though, and this is where NRG struggled. Both teams lost 9 rounds on their attacking sides. And what was good from NRG on this attack was consistent lurk success on this A side. But what they were really bad at was late hits. And already it's slow, not pacey whatsoever. Just a little bit of control, tried to garner over towards that A side, and they're going right back to old habits. Koalas just posted up here with a TP right away.
Operator in hands, no armor to his name. Now they know what's on the other side of that Viper wall.
Trying to catch a TP shot.
Uh-huh.
And again, pivoting with 45 seconds here. And Ghost is making the right read. Look at Brock's rotations.
Here.
Just goes and lends a dart, and he's right back here to fight.
The lineup is there. The paranoia follows through as well, but John manages to avoid it.
It's a gap in that wall.
Just tucked on the other side of the Viper's wall, and he tries to land the shots, but Tex saves the day. John's fallen. Rock up and Ness trying to find another. Proto gets 2 massive kills from backside, trying to find a third. The spam's not going to come through. Tex has gotten 4. Oh, now the tour de force online as Nismo falls. NRG point on overtime.
Advantage NRG.
Match point.
Series point now for the first time. And they're looking to pull off an upset. They might have been disadvantaged in the bracket sense of things, but they clearly came to play. That game against the Guard was no fluke. The way they can play under pressure in moments like these. The way they've already proved they have resilience in that series against the Guard. Now coming into this, and they have a chance to bring down one of the potential favorites for Copenhagen.
I mean, I had Ghost in my top 4.
Yeah, I think everybody did. It was
For them
Ghost,
to have
EG, you know, those two
Yeah.
teams. And NRG knew they had to play one of those.
Yep.
So, already, everybody was counting them out.
And Tex is having himself a lifetime performance in some ways this series. You think about even that 4K at the end of that round, the previous round, like, Tex has been on a heater.
2 potential aces in the series with those 4Ks. And it's thanks to him that NRG is having the success that they're having, and the rest of the team as well. I mean, obviously, EU in the round prior actually to force overtime. And the rest of NRG, they are getting the first kills in the last 7 rounds. That is a massive streak to bring back this comeback. And again, they're going for this aggressive push. They're baiting Som to be up in the room.
Yeah, it's bait, and Tex had the op, and he gets the opener now, 8 in a row.
Koala was looking at that rope. That is so smart from NRG.
Oh, and NRG is going to get value off of the drone, too. Nismo's been spotted. They're getting the kills that they need. It's just 2 on the side. Make that 1. Nismo, the star for Ghost. He's going to have to do it himself. The weight of the stage. All on his shoulders. The year on his shoulders. As he chews over which option to choose here, Ethan spots him. As the clock strives 12 for Ghost, the 9-3 curse claims another victim as NRG advance.
What a comeback. And they dominated in those last couple of rounds. The read on the game that they had, the layers that they have, finally showing up with this Omen pick, finally in their off-meta picks. In my mind, NRG just showed what the potential was the entire time. What a win.
Unbelievable. For them to rally back to get to overtime, and then for the heroics, man, how many times did we call Tex pulling off something absolutely insane? To get them the advantage on overtime is just nuts. And then they hold fast back A again. Unreal.
Yeah, that was a monster performance from him. Som as well, and everybody else on NRG. Just back to Breeze as well. That was so dominant, and then they pulled that off. That's masterful.
Ghost fall, NRG advance, and that 9-3 curse might be real after all. We're going to throw it to a break, and then the desk will break down everything that they saw. Don't go anywhere.
And we are back, ready to break down the action we just saw, as it was...
Let's keep it professional, boys. Come
Yeah,
on.
I mean, I don't have a check mark, so I don't know what professionalism looks like, apparently. You guys are both verified. I'm not even me. For all I know, I'm a stranger.
Absolutely.
I've started to doubt my entire reality. Am I even here?
Did we even watch that last game?
This is all a construct of
Yeah.
my
I
imagination.
watched the game.
Yeah.
I got you guys.
I mean, it was one of the games we've ever seen. It was not exactly what we hoped for from Ghost, but I got to give credit to NRG for having the resolve.
Absolutely.
Especially on Icebox. Coming back from a 9-3 felt like a flashback to yesterday, obviously, but this one does go to overtime before they close things out, unlike the series between FaZe and 100 Thieves.
Yeah, NRG sort of struggled to put things together on attack initially with the double smoke comp, but on defense, they were locking it down. I actually really liked what we saw. We continue to see from Som when he plays the Omen, like willing to go into the operator. At times, there's a round or two they were rocking the double op setup as well to try and shut down those early peaks on both A site and B, which I think can be really effective on Icebox. So just getting that first player on either of those two sites really can slow down the hits that can come on through. And as soon as Tex has that 4K in OT on the attacking side, you know it's lights out.
In NRG, from their start of attacking side, we saw them condition the side of Ghost a little bit to think any site could be possible. When they were hitting B, it would be Chamber, Koala Noob at A hanging out, but for a little longer than you would expect. So NRG did some great conditioning throughout the series to also get Ghost off their game. I think there was a whole lot of playing to each other's play styles, which is why we might have got such a messy series from both sides, but NRG was able to clean up what they needed to find that win in the end.
Yeah, just looking at the first map, too, it did feel like map 1 was incredibly scrappy. There was a lot of failed opportunities and missed opportunities from both teams. Looking specifically at a lot of those post plans, I know we highlighted that after the first map, where it just seemed like round after round it was coming down to a 1v1, and it was misplayed somewhat horrendously. It felt like a lot of those mistakes were plaguing both teams.
Sure, but I also think like NRG, like more often than not, when they were put in 50-50 gunfights, like they were just winning them out. And I think like throughout the match, that was a pretty consistent trend that they were able to find those rounds for themselves, especially on that map of Breeze. And while yes, Ghost certainly did have a much stronger defending side on this Icebox map, it's sad that we see it come to an end like this for Ghost Gaming, because this was the best, like in terms of like round win rate overall, like Ghost were the best team in the group stage. The fact that they fall both to EG yesterday and today versus NRG puts them in that 7th, 8th place go out, and they will not have a chance to compete at LZQ. And I think that is absolutely criminal. This team, you give them a little bit more time and they could be up there with the best in NA, and I think they just came into the weekend with the wrong read on what made them strong, and we're going to see them exit early.
Well, we got the boogeyman for the last 3 months, and today we were talking about it, Bach. It was kind of the sheet with the holes cut out for Ghost.
Went from being a scary Ghost to a cartoon Ghost. Yeah. But we do want to talk about their opponents in that game as NRG finds the win, and we do have a member of the NRG squad standing by for the Verizon post-match interview, so we will say goodbye to the analysts as we welcome in James Hazed Cobb as NRG finds a big win to kick off their lower bracket run here. Congratulations on the win, obviously, first and foremost, James. It's good seeing you.
What's going on, brother? Thank you so much, man. It feels good.
We got to cross paths last week and talk in person, and obviously you guys are putting in work. You're boot camping right now, preparing for what was coming last week. It was a huge must-win situation to make it into playoffs. You guys do end up making it, unlike last stage where you fell just a little bit short. Do you feel like you come into the playoffs with a chip on your shoulder?
I mean, of course, as you said, the last playoff stage, we were, actually, we weren't terrible. Our score looked terrible. We had a lot of really close games. We felt like we should have qualified, but and then this time we felt like we dropped the ball again and we just barely made it through. Didn't really represent like how good of a team we were. And, to be honest, you don't win tournaments through group stage. So we kind of just proved that. You have to perform when it really matters, when it's knockout stage. So I'm just really proud of the boys today, yeah.
I mean, that's something we saw last stage as well in the playoffs. Big teams didn't make it to where they were expected to, so it's certainly something that can happen here. You guys could end up making a miracle run through this lower bracket. It's going to be tough. Looking at this series, though, things started out on Breeze. Were you prepared to go to that map? Were you expecting them to pick Breeze, knowing that you were coming in with the Fracture ban, which was likely going to be their other pick?
Yeah, of course. I mean, they're very comfortable on Breeze. You know, they had won like 9 or so games before losing in a row before losing the EG. So we figured, you know, they'd probably want to play that map. They're super comfortable on it. One loss isn't enough for a team to suddenly not want to play it. So, yeah, we kind of expected Breeze. Obviously, we planned for a lot of maps, but Breeze was definitely one of them. Yeah.
Looking at that first map, it felt a little scrappy at times, like you guys were fighting for opportunities. There was a lot of missed opportunities in the 1v1s. What were the communications like for you guys as those rounds were happening when you had these close chances that maybe went your way and then didn't just a few rounds later?
Yeah, so when there was like a string of rounds, we won maybe like 4 or 5 clutches, it felt like, in a row. And when we won those rounds, you know, we were all talking about it, but I'll say what I said, and they're shook. There's no way they can recover from that. They just mental boomed. We got this. We're gonna win 2-0. So, yeah, after you win that many clutches in a row, man, you're super confident.
At the same point in time, though, you talk about that confidence and how confident you guys felt. Then you come into map 2 and you're down 9-3. Was there still that level of confidence coming into Icebox, knowing you had to claw your way back with the comeback?
Of course, yeah. We've been practicing Icebox a lot, and it kind of showed. Our defense is really strong. It's something that we've kind of suffered with for a long time. Our defense has been pretty bad across all maps. So this boot camp has really been like a focus for us to work on defense, and it's kind of showing, you know. It was the weakness in our game, and, you know, as long as we can play a solid defense, our attacks have always been good. So we're not really worried about our attack.
Well, congratulations again on the win. I wish you the best of luck. I mean, it's going to be hard going through the lower bracket. You guys come in as the 4 seed, but we know you got a lot of fight in you.
Yeah, well, we're dangerous, so look out.
Congratulations to NRG as they pick up the win over top of Ghost Gaming, who is now eliminated. A team we praised during the group stages will fight no more. We've got another match coming up in just a bit, but we're going to throw things to a break when we come back. FaZe versus LG, another lower bracket match. One will be going home and one will be moving on. Stay tuned.